Welcome back to my little goblins. It's Remy. Today we are going to be doing a little wrap up TBR situation. It is the 1st of December when you're seeing this, so we're gonna talk about what I read in November. So I normally don't do wrap ups like this. If you've watched me, you've noticed that, because I don't really read a lot throughout the month, so I feel like it's not necessary to do a reading wrap up because I'll only read one or two books. But I read a lot more than I normally do this month, even though it still was only 4 books, I believe. I read more than I normally do, and we're going to be talking about also what I want to read in December. Okay, so let's talk about what I read this month. So the first thing that I read this month, I read The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. I've seen K.A. Tucker's books before. I assumed that they were eroticas because it was the Tempt Me series. I don't know if anybody has seen that on Kindle Unlimited, but this is a series called The Simple Wild. It is about Calla Fletcher. Her and her mother live in Toronto, and I'm trying to be able to say this without giving anything away. So basically, Calla and her mother live in Toronto, and her dad is from Alaska, and she has never met him in person and has only ever talked to him over the phone. She hasn't spoken to him in, I think it's 12 years or something, but she hasn't seen him since she was 2, and she's 26, so she hasn't seen him in 24 years. So she basically planned to not ever talk to him again, but then she got a phone call that he is sick and has cancer. So she wanted to try and go mend their relationship and hopefully help him make it through this cancer, But she ends up falling for one of the pilots there. It's one of those tropes where it's they hated each other at first, but then they ended up having to be around each other, so they fell for each other. And I love those tropes in this book. And honestly, this book is so good. It's really more of a literary fiction between the daughter and father, is what it feels like to me. And the romance is kind of on the side, but there is a second book to the series that I am planning on reading, and it's on Kindle Unlimited. I want to get the actual physical copy, but I'm probably just going to start reading it on Kindle Unlimited. The second book that I read, I finished reading Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahern, which is the second book in the Serpent and Dove trilogy. This was a wild ride. Okay? The ending to this, it took me by surprise. The title of the last book makes sense now, and I don't know what's gonna happen. I couldn't tell you. This book baffled me. I don't know if I would say this is my favorite book in the series. A lot of times, the second book in a series is people's favorite. I think the first book is still my favorite. This one was a lot more emotional, and it was more sad, and it was more sad than the first book. The first book, you're introducing to the characters. They're all witty and funny and kind of in the morally gray area, and it was just such a good read. And this, you're already so attached to the characters, and now you are kind of seeing them struggle through the rest of this journey, and kind of relationships are distancing from each other, and you're not sure what is going to happen, and it just was a lot more emotional and sad than the first book, and I think I just liked the first book better because it was more funny. It was more funny. The memes from the first book are hilarious. But yeah. But Claude Devereaux in this book, if you've read this book, Claude Devereaux is one of my favorite characters. He is hilarious, and I imagine him as, what's his name from Only Murders in the Building. What's his name? I'm about to look it up. Oliver Putnam from Murders in the Building. He's played by Martin Short. Claude Devereaux reminds me of him. Like, that's who I imagine Claude as Martin Short, or whatever his name is, Oliver Putnam. I did listen to the audiobook for the rest of this, and the accents, so like, it was read by two separate narrators, because this is in two separate point of views. It's in Lou's point of view and Reed's point of view. So a woman was reading and narrating for Lou's point of view, and a man was narrating for Reed's point of view. But they had different accents for each of the characters, so sometimes it was kind of hard to follow. Like, for Claude Devereaux, the man had a French accent, like a kind of like French accent for Claude, which makes sense because this is set in France, but it was hard for me to differentiate who was who, because the woman didn't have the same accents for the same characters. So it took me a minute to figure out who was talking when I was reading the last little bit of this, but when I was reading it, I just imagined him as Oliver Putnam. Anyways, let's move on to the last book, because I shouldn't be talking this long on about 3 books. So the last book I read was Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating, and let me tell you, so I imagine Hazel as Jessica Day from New Girl, okay? Because that's who she is. And she is so funny. I love her so much. And Josh is literally so cute. He is so sweet, and he's so, like, quiet. I don't know. I think that he's something else. You know, I thought he was going to be a dick. When I first read this book, I thought he was going to be such a dick. Like, I really thought that I thought he was going to be an asshole. But you also get his point of view. You get both of their point of views in this, and seeing, like, just seeing what they're thinking about each other is just so good. It's so good. You need to read it. It's such a short read, too. It's so good. This book is just so good. I didn't even talk about my ratings for any of these. So this one's a 5. This one's a 5. This one's a 4. Okay? I don't remember what I rated this one. Let me look at my Storygraph. I gave it a 4.5 on Storygraph. Definitely read this. I love all of Christina Lauren's books that I've read so far, which they're all up there. I think Love in Other Words and The Soulmate Equation are my 2 favorites by Christina Lauren, but this one is a third. Is like up in the top 3 that I've read so far. Let's talk about what I want to read in December. So I do have a video planned where I read 5 books for that video. So expect to see some of those books in that video that are going to be in this video. So I'm planning to read a bunch of Kindle Unlimited holiday romances. So I'm going to be reading off my phone what they are. So I have Christmas Cupid by, what's her name? Christmas Cupid by Madden Mills. Ilsa Madden Mills. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying her name wrong. Ilsa Madden Mills. Christmas Cupid by Ilsa Madden Mills. And then I have Crime and Candy Canes by Alina Jacobs. And then The Worst Christmas Wife by Katie Bachand. I'm butchering these names. And then I have A Cross Country Christmas by Courtney Walsh. And then 'Tis the Season for Revenge by Morgan Elizabeth. I almost said Elizabeth Morgan. So 'Tis the Season for Revenge was a book that everyone was reading last year, and I didn't know it was on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm going to read it. This is really just a way for me to read more books without having to buy more books, but anyways, yeah, so expect to see those books read and that video out by the end of the month. Hopefully I will have the time to do that. And there are, if if I do have time, there are some books that I do want to read that are on my bookshelf. So one of the books that I want to finish this month, or next month, December, is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. You're going to be watching this on December 1st, so this month, technically, I guess. So I am this far in. I'm on the second chapter, I believe. This one, I think, is the slowest I've started reading an Emily Henry book. I haven't, normally her books, I don't want to put them down, but this one I've been just kind of putting down a lot and forgetting about it. But I'm going to try and get through it. Maybe I'll listen to it on Spotify, on the Spotify audiobooks, to try and get a little bit through it and then get into the story where I can actually read it. I don't know. Maybe I'll want to read God and Monsters. But this book is just kind of thick, but I have the audiobook on Audible. So maybe I can listen to it when I'm like in the car or whatever. Yeah, this book is like over 600 pages. I don't know if I'll get to that this month. Maybe Dance of Thieves. I don't know. I've been wanting to read this, but I want to read other books more, and I don't know. Curious Tides, maybe. There's a lot of maybes. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm in a mood read this month after I read all my holiday reads. But this book is so pretty. Maybe, there's some books up there I can't reach, but I guess I could reach them. Maybe I'll read the fine print, because this is also on Kindle Unlimited, so I can read it on my phone and on my book, on my book. I don't know. I might read this because the second book with the guy's point of view comes out next year. So maybe I'll read this and cry because everyone cries when they read this. So maybe I'll read this and cry and then read the second book and cry next year. Should I wait till next year so this is fresh in my memory when I read the next book so it hits harder? Or I can read it this month. So the only thing I really have on my TBR next month is this book. And why are you mocking me? I really just have this book and all of my holiday reads that are on my Kindle. But I'm actually really excited for these holiday reads. So the holiday reads, there are a couple of them are kind of short. But 'Tis the Season for Revenge is like 300 pages, so it's like a normal book. But the other ones are like 100 and something pages, so they'll be quick reads. I did that on purpose. But I am really excited, and I do read faster on my phone, so I think I'll get through them pretty quickly. This is, kind of what it is. My November wrap up. These three books. Yeah. I don't know. I guess that's it. I guess that's the video. This is such a short video. You guys like my new space? You see the books? You see them all? If you watched my last video, you should watch my last video. You should go watch my last video. When I set this up, I set it up right here. Like, see, you just watch me put books on a shelf. Isn't that just so entertaining? Like, you should go watch it. You should definitely go watch it. And then maybe I can buy more books this year to fill this bottom part and fill the rest of the other side. Because if you go see that video, you'll see that this ends like over here. So I need more books. Anyways, have a great week. This is the second video you're getting this week. Isn't that just a delight? Normally I'm gone for like 3 months. This is just a treat for you, isn't it? So go like the video just for that. Just the fact that it's the second video you're seeing this week. You should just go like the video for that. And obviously subscribe if you want to see more of my face and my videos. And if you want to see that Christmas video that I'm doing with all the holiday reads and see how I like these books, you should subscribe and click the bell so you can get notified when that video comes out. And I'm doing a bunch. I have all my videos planned for December, so I won't be gone. I promise. Well, I don't know if I can promise, but I will. They're planned. Will I do them? But they're planned. I don't know, but they're planned. So at least I'm trying, okay? Have a great week. Comment this so I know that you made it to the end of the video. And I will see you next week. Bye.